It's Friday. I hope today will be the start of an eventful weekend for you. My name is Denisia Pomaeje and I bring you AM News. Let's start from the camp of the MPP because Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, popularly known as Napo, has resigned from his position as the Minister for Energy. This decision comes after his nomination and confirmation as the new Patriotic Party's running mate for the 2024 election this December. The resignation aims to allow him to fully focus on his new role as the party strives to break the 8-year cycle. In a statement issued by the presidency on Thursday, July 11, and signed by Communications Director Eugene Ahen, it said Dr. Prempeh's resignation will take effect from Thursday, July 18. Now to a rather sad story. A couple that lost their 10-day-old, baby during a male circumcision procedure at KNUST Hospital in Kumasi is yet to receive compensation from university authorities 1 year after the incident. Faraj Mohammed, who was sent to the facility for a male circumcision procedure, died moments later after allegedly suffering a cardiac arrest. Though authorities of KNUST pleaded for an out-of-court settlement, no compensation has been paid yet. My colleague Ohim Interior of our health desk has more.
Mohammed Jamal and Alimatu Adams, a private security officer and a fashion designer respectively, took their son to the KNUST hospital for a simple procedure, male circumcision, on April 3, 2023. Faraj Mohammed was received by a nurse who took him to the theater for the procedure on the day of the incident. The wild cry of the baby was heard for the last time by the parents who were seated in the waiting area of the theater. Few moments later, some senior nurses and doctors were seen rushing into the theater, a development that made the parents distraught. A patient-centered group, Advocacy for Medical Malpractice Victims, on behalf of the parents, filed a suit at the Kumasi High Court demanding damages in compensation. But the authorities of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology pleaded for an out-of-court settlement. It then set up a 6-man committee chaired by Professor Imoro Brahima, a former provost of the College of Humanities, to look into the issue. It's been months since an agreement was reached with the parents.
Assembly CNA Edward OAB KNUST to Bofo Maneba Fee any Ebusiani Beshai.
Following the media reports, a delegation from KNUST visited us at home for the first time. KNUST then admitted responsibility for our son's death. They pleaded for an out-of-court settlement and we accepted their offer. The group, which included a few Muslim academics, assured us they would investigate the matter and compensate us fairly. Later on, we found out that KNUST had set up a committee. After a discussion with our lawyers, a compensation plan was negotiated. We accepted the figure, but never heard from them again.
But the Jamals say they are being constantly reminded of the death of the baby following the failure of KNUST to pay compensation. Mohammed Jamal feels disrespected by the authorities at KNUST.
I am not pleased with how KNUST treated my family. We are treated in this manner since they believe we are toothless. Why would you form a committee, dispatch a delegation, reach a resolution, and then do nothing? Since the matter is still unresolved, we are frequently reminded of the passing of our only male child.
Ane yaudi a mama yekum ane nkomo na omo ne ebedi a omo ndisa omo boshe ne so no ama abrebia de bia eba yetrim a ye di ho abopo.
Executive Director of the Advocacy for Medical Malpractice Victims, Kwame Brobe Apia says the posture of the university authorities explains the widespread disrespect of clients by health service providers across the country.
Nothing would be able to compensate for the loss of a human being. We are talking about fair and adequate compensation in terms of the fact that at least they would have something to console their souls for having gone through such a traumatic experience, especially when the suspicion is that the child died out of the negligence of somebody, allegedly. We feel that once we had agreed mutually to bring closure to this matter, they should have by now, done the needful.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the KNUST committee, Professor Imoro Brahima, says the university cannot be held accountable for failing to reach an agreement with the baby's family. According to him, lawyers of the family have turned down a compensation package proposed by the university, a development the vice-chancellor has been made aware of. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Oyeminteria reporting.
Well, cancer patients at the Opoku Teaching Hospital are facing extended delays and suspended appointments as the hospital's only radiotherapy machine is unable to cope with the rising demand. The machine, which has experienced frequent breakdowns, was recently repaired but continues to operate at a reduced capacity, limiting the number of daily treatment sessions. Rejoice Semefa Bisu has been to the hospital's oncology department and our reports.
8-year-old Joshua is having one of his 33 sessions for the treatment of cancer.
Pain. I feel pain. What
do you want to become? You told me you love John Mahama. You can give a shout out to John Mahama. Anything you want to say to him?
President Mahama, please, can you help me with my treatment, please?
You are hoping to get back to school soon. Okay. You're hoping to get back to school?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
He's one of the lucky few, as many have been told to hold on with their treatment. Appointments for patients requiring more than 6 treatment sessions remain suspended as oncologists at the hospital await comprehensive maintenance on the radiotherapy machine, which is currently operational but limited to just 10 sessions per day.
The engineers posted here by the company, the local agents, did work. They worked on the machine. They worked on the machine, and somehow they were able to get it back online. But they realized that when it stays on for a few hours, then the problem resurfaces. So then management has taken a decision that we are treating, as a stopgap measure, we are treating patients who have about 5 to 10 treatments left, right?
Professor Joel Yane is head of oncology department at the hospital.
We should pay attention to non-communicable disease and cancer in particular. Yes, because our disease profile is changing. It's not only in Ghana, most developing countries, the disease profile is changing. They're having more non-communicable disease, more cancers. And radiotherapy plays a very important role in the management of cancer.
On the 4th of July 2024, patients arriving for the scheduled treatment were turned away as oncologists at the Opoku Teaching Hospital scrambled to bring engineers to repair the only radiotherapy machine, which had broken down due to excessive use. Some patients were worried.
I was scheduled for radiation treatment, which would take 16 working days. But I realized that they were having issues with their machine. I was scheduled last week, Thursday. I did a Thursday and Friday, and I'm supposed to continue from Monday up to date. After those 2 treatments that I had, I've never had any.
This incident occurred just days after oncologists at the Kumasi Teaching Hospital withdrew their services in protest over delays in repairing the cancer treatment machine at their facility.
It is unfortunate that our colleagues, a section of our colleagues in oncology, have taken this action.
Professor Yene, having experienced the pain patients are going through, wants government to bring in more machines.
Government is aware and there's a master plan. Yeah, there's a master plan. The plan is to associate, because it's very complex and cancer management is quite complex, we associate it with the teaching hospitals. So the plan we have now is to have one in Tamale, one in Cape Coast, and one in Ho, because they have medical schools, and therefore we'll have the human resource. People who do some cancer work, right? So these will be new centers. Then Konfranochi and Kolebu will have additional machines. So they will have 2 each. So that when such a problem arises, we can solve it. Unfortunately, we have not been able to implement our plan. Mind you, I told you that the machine costs getting to about $2 million.
Rejoice Semifa Questions report for Joy News.
And still on health, the Edward OAB Trust Fund, in its quest to alleviate challenges in the health sector, has made significant donations to the Bator Catholic Hospital and the Dental and Hematology departments at the Kumasi Teaching Hospital. To address the issue of patient transportation, the Trust donated an ambulance to the Bator Catholic Hospital and also made a financial contribution to the Kumasi Teaching Hospital. There's more in this report.
On behalf of the Edward OAB Trust, I hand over this ambulance to you to be given to the Bator Catholic Hospital.
The Edward OAB Trust Fund, known for its philanthropic effort, says they are committed to complementing the efforts of government in providing health care for the people, hence the gesture. A total of 543,000 Ghana cedis was donated to the Dental and Hematology Department of the Kumasi Teaching Hospital and an ambulance to the Bator Catholic Hospital. Listen to the board chair of the Trust Fund, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Bafo, who is also the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Ghana, tell Joy News why they took the initiative and says they have plans to do more in the future.
For this year, we have had a number of these requests, but we decided to approve these 3 for this first part of the year. First is for the ambulance, which was a request from Bator Catholic Hospital. And we took delivery of it, and now we are here to make a donation to the hospital. The second is to the dental unit. We have been to the dental unit of the Kumasi Teaching Hospital. They lack a number of things and tools to work, especially the dental chairs. And we felt that there was the need to support. That is why we are making that check presentation to them so they can get a dental chair to support the work they do there. Then to the hematology unit, there is an equipment which protects the nurses as well as the doctors who take care of cancer patients. And without it, they are at risk. And that is why we felt that there was the need, urgent need, to secure one of these equipments for the unit. We are looking forward to doing more. As I said, the requests keep coming year after year. And due to our limited resources, we take care of the urgent and needy ones. But I know that with time, or in the second half of the year, we would come out with another list of benefactors who would also benefit from all that we are doing.
Reverend Father Dr. Peter Rohes, the Director of Health for the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra, along along with the heads of dental and hematology department, Kolubu expressed their gratitude. They underscored the significant impact the nation would have in addressing critical issues within their respective departments.
We had a big challenge when it came to referrals, especially from Bato. If you know where Bato is located, we had challenges making referrals and also picking our patients to the facility. Sometimes the rickety cars we use in picking our patients and all of that wouldn't really help the situation of the patients. But this ambulance, trust me, is going to solve a problem. I would always want to say it's going to meet a pain.
I present this check to the hematology unit of the Kumasi Teaching Hospital to help you acquire some equipment for the care of dental patients.
Well, tributes are pouring in for the former dean of the UDS School of Medicine and Health Science, said Dr. Edward OAB. His selfless dedication to duty and love for humanity, according to his family members and friends, was legendary. His passion for his job was exceptional. He was nominated by the World Health Organization as one of the 65 most caring doctors in the world and was awarded a knighthood by the Pope. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam visited the family house following his passing and now reports.
The renowned surgeon consultant, said Dr. Edward OAB, recounting his life as a young doctor at the Denwa Regional Hospital.
When I was here alone as the doctor, we didn't even have electricity. And I had to operate sometimes with torchlights. And I was the only doctor, administrator, nurse, everything. Today, something different has come. I'm very excited to be here. The only thing I pray is that the young doctors who are here, it's not going to be easy. I know.
The 79-year-old selfless surgeon consultant gave up the ghost during the wee hours of Wednesday. At his bedside was one of his mentees, a medical director of the Upper West Regional Hospital, Dr. Robert Amesia.
No one can live forever, but we didn't expect his demise soon. This is a gentleman who has been very selfless, and his selflessness has been proven in many courtesies. He has won many awards from national to international, like WHO, for the most caring doctor in the world, one of the most caring doctors in the world. When we came to this region as young doctors, he mentored us. He frequently visited our various stations.
The news of his death sent shockwaves across the region and the country at large. Close family members, peers, schoolmates, and friends came to his house, located at Wachago, in droves. Many did not believe of the passing of the man who they see as selfless and their mentor.
Because it's like I don't have any father again. He's the one I started my career with. I ended my career with him. And I thought, now that I'm on pension, I'll be able to come and sit with him and we chat.
Being a guardian, a father, a provider, I actually traveled with him on Monday from Tamale to Wahia. And so I'm very, very shocked to have heard this morning about his passing. He has passed with a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience. He's contributed a lot to the development of Nandom, to the development of the Upper West region, to the development of Northern Ghana, to the development of the entire country.
Because even where I sit every day, just doing some ala. He comes around, we chat, we do politics, and then we chat a lot.
Moving on, the Coalition of Concerned ZAM People is advocating their rights and interests under Article 20 of the 1992 Constitution and the Land Act. They are calling for adequate compensation and employment quotas as the Petroleum Hub Corporation plans to acquire 20,000 acres of their land. There's more in this report.
The Coalition of Concerned ZAM People insists that their rights and interests must be respected. They demand their fair compensation for cash crops and other farm products and a mutual agreement employment quota of 15% for affected communities and 20% for the entire municipality and in ZAM lands. This comes as the Petroleum Hub Corporation is set to acquire 20,000 acres of land to enhance the upstream and downstream oil and gas value chain in Africa. According to the group, the designated 20,000 acre enclave for Petroleum Hub poses a significant threat to their livelihood and exceeds the area's land capacity, while acknowledging the Petroleum Hub's development project's potential benefits, including 780,000 employment opportunities and economic growth. The group calls for a reduction in the land size to safeguard their livelihoods, land rights, and the authority for future leaders. They argue that the proposed live wall in the plan will restrict access to their farms and essential activities.
We are basically calling for a renegotiation. We are calling that our voice should be heard. We are calling that people who matters within this whole negotiation or project should be seated around the table and do proper negotiation to benefit them and then to benefit the next generation. If you've seen us here, it is not basically to fight against any project or perhaps maybe fighting against any traditional leader or any supreme power. What we are calling for is ultimate, that those involved in the consortium who wants to come and do their project, we are calling that they should come clean. They shouldn't pass through certain back doors. We don't feel safe, and that's what we are calling for. A reduction of their proposed 20,000 acres of land to 5,000 or 6,000 to start their first phase one, which is the 12 billion that they've allocated 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to share for people covering 20,000 acres of land. What do you want to scam us? We are not kicking against it. We embrace it. We want it. The youth of Jomora want job. The youth of Kablenso, Ulebazo, Bonye, they want job. They need job. We need development in Jomora. But we will not subject ourselves to slavery because of certain peanuts. And that's what we are calling for.
Nana Kweku, Enemia Mbrantihene of Zamaland, and member of the Concerned ZAM People, has said that the Petroleum Development Corporation must establish a memorandum of understanding with family heads. This MOU should cover sponsorship of at least one child from each household from primary to university level, and the provision of good roads, infrastructure, communication networks, health, and educational facility, as stipulated in Local Governance Act 936.
Welcome now on Business Updates. And Senior Finance Lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa, has asked government to use the mid-year budget review to create a conducive environment for banks to lend. According to him, banks would not give out loans if the macroeconomic fundamentals were not favorable. His advice follows an appeal by the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, calling for support from the financial sector ahead of the mid-year budget presentation. He spoke to Joy Business.
It is more about creating loans, right? Creating loans and supporting businesses. That is where the banks will contribute comfortably. Now, if you look at the triggers of banks' intention to support a loan request, it's about how good the macroeconomy is. Seriously, if the macroeconomy environment is not supportive to lending, no bank will risk giving out a loan. As we speak now, T-bill, 1 year T-bill is quoted at about 27.87. Ghana reference rate is about 29.35. In other words, you are likely to get a loan around 32%. And we have gone through a regime of increasing interest rate NPLs, non-performing loans, are increasing. So clearly realize that the bank's posture to lend or not to lend will be how these factors will support their lending business. And clearly, with these high figures we are seeing by way of interest rate, Ghana reference rate, high NPLs, no bank will comfortably be lending. They would rather prefer to do investment or at best pass on their money to Bank of Ghana as part of they not being able to meet the cash reserve ratio so that they can have their money than to risk the funding. What am I saying? In the budget, government should try as much as possible to create the environment that will make it conducive and easy for the banks to lend. The banks are in to create value from lending. And they will easily do that if the environment supports. But if the environment is not supportive, no bank will risk giving out loans.
And that's it for our business update. Handing over back to Denisia Pomaije.
Thank you, Benjamin. And after AM News is the news review. We'll be joined by Afil Moni. He's the former president of GJA. Benjamin, any plans for this weekend?
Any plans? Tomorrow I'll be busy just a tad, and after that I hope to rest. It's been about 2 months of back-to-back action. I need to just lay low a bit. Let's see whether Sunday will offer me that opportunity.
I'll also be working.
Oh, sir. El pan diario de cada día. That's what the Spaniards will say. Our daily bread. It's like the routine.
Okay, so that's it for AM News. My name is Denisia Pomaije. Enjoy the rest of the show.